to Shipmates episode 4.
I was going to say episode 3. I can't believe it's
4.
episode 4 already.
4.
That means you've been on this ship for 4 weeks.
Longer, mate. We've been on it for so long.
Crazy.
For the audio listeners, for all 3 of you out there, you won't notice that myself and Cameron adapt up in these lovely P&O brand robes, which may or may not be the company we work for.
Yeah, I think up to this point we've been a bit ambiguous about where we work. For I was going to say legal reasons, but like they're not going to care.
What do they do? Kick us off?
Yeah, it's not true.
Make us walk the plank?
Yeah.
No. And the opportunity came up to get these sick as robes for £8.
Oh, you got your slippers on as
well.
Oh, yeah.
Check out these.
Slippers aren't great. The robes are fantastic.
I'm a big fan. You know what though? For £8, I don't think I'll ever leave this.
Yeah.
This is great. I'm a big fan of these
this now.
Yeah.
We were discussing today whether we thought we'd get away with wearing these in passenger area. As like uniform, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I think so. A lot has happened over the last week.
Well, okay, hold on. I think we should firstly, before we go any further, point out a few features of our robes.
Okay, sure.
So we have the P&O logo here. You'll notice underneath the P&O logo, it says, like no place on earth, TM, trademark. That's not even their slogan anymore.
No, it's not.
This is their old slogan.
Hence why they're so cheap.
Probably, actually. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But they weren't going to get them reprinted, were they? So what it seems, the packaging that came in, it said $25 if you open this. And in my head, I was like, surely not another 25. But I realised it's for the rooms for guests. So they have them in there. And if you decide to open...
It's like a mini fridge, but for robes.
And maybe keep it?
Yeah, I assume so,
I don't know. Yeah.
It must be, It must be to keep after that.
I think so.
And then on the back...
Oh, I forgot about the back.
I actually can't remember what it says. Maybe you can read it.
Yeah. Let me wrap my arms around you.
Which is a bit... Is it wholesome or is it weird? I think it's quite weird.
Can you imagine? Well, because you only read that from behind as well.
Yeah. So is it suggesting that I wrap my arms around someone else, or is it that the robe is wrapping its arms around me?
The robe is wrapping its arms around.
It just makes me feel a little bit uneasy. I'm not sure why, but
yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I think it'd be better if. Well, that's what I was saying. I think we should sort of embroider them. With some wacky.
I don't have the ability to embroider things, unfortunately, but
luckily
we can try.
Us, there's a seamstress on board right now.
Yeah.
Why don't we get this change for starters, a slogan, so it brings us all together.
What, cross out?
Yeah, a one line through it, and then brings us all together just in Sharpie.
I was going to say, we could just Sharpie it. That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, you know what might be fun, actually, on the last day of our cruise? You know when you go to school and you get everyone to sign a shirt?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That is a good idea. Maybe we should get another one.
Love that. Well, no, I'm just going to use this one.
But yeah, should we have some beers?
Yeah, we should have some beers.
Okay, we've got today...
match.
Oh, lovely. Peroni and a pure blonde. These are both yours. I'm going to take the pure blonde.
That's fine.
For a reason, which I said earlier, which pure blonde is a Australian beer, I'd imagine. 90% less carbs than your standard beer, such as your Peronis, and only 86 calories.
Unbelievable.
Really unbelievable. But
not sponsored.
Shoot. Not sponsored, but we're in Adelaide, so if they want to sponsor us for Adelaide, we'd be well up for that. Cheers. Oh, what a treat.
Oh. Brushed my teeth like an hour ago, so that is gross.
I just inhaled a whole bag of popcorn.
Did you?
Half a bag of popcorn, but yeah.
That's
different.
Great podcast content. Cheers for sharing.
No, but I've still got like bits of popcorn in my teeth.
Yeah.
So if you occasionally just see me silence for a little while, it's because I'm digging it out with my tongue.
Love that.
A lot has happened over the last week.
A lot has happened in the last week.
I think we should kick things off by talking about the big group of deaf people that came onto one of our cruises.
Yeah. This was probably about a week ago. Well, probably was about a week ago
now, it was just after the last pod, I think.
Yeah, we had a large cohort. I heard different figures. I heard 180 and 130.
No, so what you've done there is the first figure we heard was 80 and the second one was 130.
So I've conflated them. Okay,
it was 136.
Hearing impaired people came, so various degrees of hearing impaired, that's not a word, but came on boards. And I think it was a big charity group, I think.
Yeah, it was an organisation.
A group booking.
Like they definitely, I reckon you get a discount if you book with that number of people.
If you book 130 people, there's for sure a discount involved. And they brought a small handful of sign language interpreters with them.
Also, just straight off the bat, everyone from this group, absolutely lovely.
Great.
Like they were
much fun.
The best people. They came to one of our shows, which we'll talk about.
They actually came to both of our shows.
Yeah, that's true. The interpreters were all lovely. We got along really well with the interpreters, had a lot of chats with them. And then the actual, the large group of, the large number of the hearing impaired people that I met were all absolutely lovely.
Yeah, lovely people.
We learned little snippets of sign language here and there. to kind of, but it didn't really feel like a language barrier or anything. Like, well, I wasn't having chats with them or anything.
No.
But we were kind of communicating with them.
As much as I do with any other passengers.
Exactly, yeah. We learned some parts of the show in sign language.
We did.
Well, we learned like one phrase.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so we had 2 shows that cruise, and the interpreters came to the first one with the intention of watching the show first, getting a feel for it so they knew what to expect when they came to the second one, and then they would stand to the side of the stage and do the sign language for all the hearing impaired people. And we also had a chat to them. I remember asking them as well, like, oh, how much have you been told about the show? Do you know the content of it? And they're like, absolutely nothing. And we're like, okay, I don't really know how sign language works, but you might have to look a couple things up because some of the things in there are not probably your run-of-the-mill words that you learn at sign language school.
Yeah, but they did a really good job. They kind of were sight reading. Well, that's the wrong term, but playing by ear.
Yeah.
I guess so. They were just going along with what they heard, which I guess is what most interpreters are booked for anyways. They don't know the context of it, and they did really well. There's a few things that so if this is your first time listening to a podcast, myself and Cameron do a late night naughty magic show on board Pacific Explorer, but it's not late night, which is always fun. But there was a few things in it like butt plug in our show that they had to sign. And for the viewers, butt plug was
this,
right? That, yeah. And then the tassels,
this.
That. Oh, I've got cramp in my hand.
Great.
But yeah, very good.
We had a section of the show, or we have a section of the show called, it's like a game show called Don't Fuck It Up. And Don't Fuck It Up. We had a long discussion with the guys. I was sort of in and out of it, but I think you had the brunt of the discussion because there was a couple of the interpreters and they had different ways to interpret the phrase "Don't fuck it up," because there's no just one way to do it. It sort of depends on the context. It depends on the meaning behind it. And I think they settled on just "don't" being like this for, again, great audio content if you're listening to this. And "fuck it up" is like this.
It's one thing, just fuck it up.
Throwing it away. You're like throwing something over your shoulder.
It's like, fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up. So usually at that point we just sort of go, "Don't fuck it up." But we all went, "Don't fuck it up."
Great.
Which is funny. And then they have to make a decision in that between one of 2 boxes, box A and box B. And we learned box A and box B. Which
was actually really not helpful when I did choose
you had your hands full as well, didn't you?
So I actually, for this trick, I decided to choose a hearing impaired person because I thought that out of all the tricks is probably, a lot of the other tricks, they've got some involvement, they have to listen to you, and they would just be watching the interpreter. So I thought this one probably fairly easy. It didn't really go that way. So I threw it into, there was a large patch, let's say, of hearing impaired people because they were all sat to watch interpreters. And I threw it amongst their patch, hoping one of them grabbed it. One of them did catch it, and he stood up, and they all went crazy. They all applauded for him, which for the viewers, that's how you clap your hands, I guess, which is very nice, jazz hands. And he got up and he did that. To be fair, it was fine. Yeah, it was fine. It took a little bit longer, obviously. Yeah, because he was a bit more looking between the interpreter and me. And I think when he realised that we were signing it as well, he was like, "Okay, I get it," and it was fine. Yeah, we had a great time though. They were a really nice audience. They had a lot of fun, and I think, I don't know. It's hard to speak to this, but I would imagine it was probably a lot of fun for them to watch these sign language interpreters that they've got to know. Yes. I don't know if they knew them before the cruise. It's probably likely they did. But if they didn't, they at least got to know them quite well over the 3 or 4 days they were on board. Yeah. And then at the end of it, to get to watch them sign words like butt plug, don't fuck it up and stuff, it's like, that's funny in anyone's language, you know? And it was like they were performing it as well, right? So they're getting to see the people that have been performing musicals for them and stuff start performing this outrageous material. Yeah. And I guess it makes the interpreters the funny ones, and because they're telling our jokes, it's really fun. A part of me wishes I could have watched our show from the audience so I could see the interpreter. I'd love to, yeah. I get to watch parts of the show, and I was just constantly eyes on the as an interpreter, so that was good. We also had quite a few port days. Nothing too much to report. Yeah, didn't really do anything that exciting this kind of time. Lots of brunch clubs. Yeah, just a lot of brunch. We met up with Rory and Jack Vogler, who friends of the pods. Yep. Rory is a big fan of the pods, actually. Which is I don't think he watches it, but he likes the idea of it a lot. Yeah, big fan of the idea. Yeah, he likes the idea of this pod a lot, which is nice. And that was just a really nice little brunch. Also, something interesting has happened since the last episode. So, you know my segment, Facebook Marketplace finds? Okay. One of the people who posted reached out.
About the video?
Yeah.
They saw the video.
So,
Wait, what?
not quite. Do you remember the Thomas the Tank Engine
Oh, did you get
costume?
in touch?
I didn't get in touch. They were a friend of James Grossman,
Right.
friend of the pod, who is a artist, and it turns out that was his design technology teacher at school.
And so the videos got back to the guy that made it.
Because James said, "Oh, that's my mate," and then the guy was like, "Oh my god, I want a podcast. This is amazing."
That's funny.
I think it has since sold.
Oh, I was going to ask you, because I remember you said we might actually buy it for the 20 quid it costs. I thought you might just gift it to us.
No,
Oh.
yeah, but that's a little full circle moment.
Ah, very fun.
Very fun.
Yeah, I think not much else has happened.
No.
I actually had somebody, well, I thought a fun thing to talk about that kind of happened this week that actually my mum kind of brought up is the sort of cruises to nowhere that we've been doing recently.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. So we do these kind of 3-day cruises sometimes. Often they're themed. This time it's been a comedy cruise. And my mum, bless her, she tracks the ship online. You can go on a website called Cruise Mapper, and you can see every cruise ship in the world and where they go and their routes and their where they are in the world. And she messaged me a screenshot of it saying, "Oh, you're not really going very far." And it's because we did a 3-day comedy cruise which went nowhere. So it sailed out of Melbourne, went out to sea, did donuts for 3 days, just sailed in circles, and then just came back in. And this is really interesting because I've had a couple people ask me about this since.
What do? We just go in circles?
Yeah, why do we do it? What is it? And it's
I don't understand why we can't just go out, stay still, like drop the anchor, stay still, and then come back.
you can't drop the anchor because it's too deep in
Ah,
sea. The anchor chain is like
so
maybe a couple hundred meters.
right.
But like,
So the ship can't actually just stay still.
no, and if you stay still, then you get affected by the waves and you start moving a lot more. So you have to keep moving
see.
to stay stable.
You know what it was good for though is the circles we were doing weren't actually very big circles.
No,
They weren't massive. They were maybe a couple of miles.
No
I
idea.
don't really know. But it meant that when we found whales, we actually just
we could see them.
stayed. We
Yeah.
could see them for hours because we were just circling around.
that's true. I never
These
thought of
whales.
that actually. I didn't realize that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That's why they never got out of vision, because you're at that slight curve and they're just about as far
They
out.
just go further away from you and then closer to you again as
Yeah.
you do circles.
So
Yeah.
it was great. We saw whales,
Yeah, that's cool.
some dolphins. I
Yeah.
didn't see the dolphins, but other people rumored to have seen dolphins. I also had a dream last night. I keep having this recurring dream that the whales get way too close to a ship, and then suddenly there's this like Shamu situation where it almost jumps onto the ship.
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny. I don't think it would do much.
What, a beached orca on a ship?
Yeah, but the whales compared to the size of the ship are tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not. It's not like it's just swallow the ship.
No,
you
it's
know,
just
it's gonna
kind
like bounce off.
Yeah, no, very true.
Um,
I've brought some gifts
gifts.
to go with our robes. This is actually a gift from Bethany, friend of the pod.
Okay.
Can you guess? I'll give you this one. Can you
Okay.
guess what that is?
Can I guess what it is?
So to describe it to the audience listeners, it's sort of
It's like a hood.
microfiber hood. Can you guess what it is?
Is it something that would be useful to me?
Not to
for
you.
real. It's for drying your hair, I reckon.
It is.
Long hair.
Do you want to know how to put it on?
I'd imagine you put it on your head.
Right. So put it on. Okay, I thought this would go in the outfit, right?
Right.
Put it on your head like this.
Oh, that way.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, but you got to put your
And
hair
then you
in.
grab this, and then normally people
Right,
put
right,
you
right.
twist this,
Okay, you twist it. I've just done my hair.
and then you pop it back, and there's a little bit of elastic and a little button,
Okay, hold on. Twist. Oh yeah, I see.
and now we've completed the look.
Oh fuck. Hold on. You know, when I was a kid, so I've got a mum, obviously, and a sister. And when I was a kid, whenever my mum used to tie her hair up with a towel, I used to think it was witchcraft.
I don't
So
understand
how on
how
earth do you
it
do
works.
it? Like, I understand how these things
Yeah,
work.
I get this. It sort of looks a bit like a turban.
Yeah, it does a bit. I mean, that's what it is, basically. Well,
You
it's
look
not.
like Aladdin, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this completes the look pretty well. This is probably a good thumbnail
Yeah.
as well. But I'm gonna take mine off now because it's messing with me
Oh.
and my ears. But I thought that would just be a
Yeah,
nice
I
little
love that.
bit for the viewers. Probably not great audio content.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Bethany, for lending us your head towels.
Head towels.
Very
They're good,
handy.
actually. Better than like an actual towel.
They are good. I thought we should talk about more ship-based stuff because that's what's getting views at the minute on our social
I think
media.
so too, yeah.
So-
And I think as well, like, obviously, I'm sure there's the odd person interested in, like, just our lives.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think people are probably more interested in the context of our lives at the moment.
Did you get any questions sent through?
Yeah, I did actually. I actually thought maybe we'd do a whole section called like
Questions.
Cruise Ship Q&A, where we just answer the questions.
That's a good idea.
But I've got a couple things to talk about. The 3-day cruises at sea, I think maybe we should talk about.
Your light's gone out.
That's what happens when you don't charge your goddamn.
You didn't charge
power
it.
banks.
Don't look. Yeah.
No, I actually did
Don't
charge it, but I used it. I forget it as well.
Oh, okay. Well, no light for camera. All right, start that.
I think maybe we should make like a clip length talk about the 3-day cruises.
Sure.
Yeah, because
You want to do that now? Whilst people are, yeah. So if you listen to a full thing, which people do, you watch videos, you're going to enjoy this.
But I think also the reasons behind it. We didn't say about the reasons behind it.
Yeah.
So we work on a cruise ship, obviously.
We do.
And we have recently been doing a few of these 3 or 4 day cruises, which go nowhere. They just come out from the port, they go to sea, they do circles for like a couple days, and then we just come back in. And I've had a few people ask me what these are about. My mum asked me, my friend Chris was like, what's that about? And my understanding of it is that it's like a tax thing. And so they can open the casino as well, right?
Correct.
So I think legally, a cruise ship has to get a certain distance away from land or from like the nation for it to be in international waters. So then it can open up its casino and gamble and sell stuff, like sell duty-free stuff at the shops and stuff. Which is kind of mad, though. It's obviously not great for the environment and things like that.
Well, also they make more money on the bar and stuff because they don't. As soon as they leave, they don't have to charge tax. People get everything for cheaper.
That's interesting.
It does work out.
Yeah, I never knew about the bar because I would have thought that people would expect you to bring the prices down if that was the case.
I don't know.
Do they just pocket the?
I think they just pocket the difference.
Margin. I mean, that makes sense.
But yeah, it's just like a big tax write-off to get to international waters.
Yeah.
Because then also when we go from country to country, there's a big tax difference because you're actually like the alcohol you can get at cost price and tax free.
Because you're in international waters again.
When you're between those two countries, when you do that crossing, but I don't know what the difference is between that and just going out to a few miles or a couple of 100 miles or whatever.
Yeah, I really don't know.
If anyone knows, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I'd love to know.
And that's God, what a great clip that was.
But the 3-day cruises are interesting. But actually, that raises a question because I think on the very first pod we talked about Kombucha, where we used to be able to buy cost price tax-free alcohol.
Can't anymore.
Which we only ever did. They only happened though when we were between countries. So when we went from like New Zealand to Australia or to Fiji or anything like that. But if what we just said is true, surely they could do a Kombucha every time we go out to sea.
Yeah, I mean, our crew bar prices are tax-free and at cost as well.
Yeah.
That's how they're so cheap.
True.
So I don't really understand it. I think maybe that's just when they decide to do it because it takes a lot of effort.
That checks out, I guess.
Or maybe because they're moving their books from country to country.
Yeah.
And it just works out. One thing I wanted to talk about is the secret smoking room on the ship.
I've only ever been in this room once. And it's fucking horrendous.
I've only been in this room once as well. So if you're a passenger and you want to smoke on a ship, you have to go to a designated smoking area, which is outside.
Outside on a deck.
However, for crew members, in the crew bar, there's a little room about the size of a cabin, and the walls are so yellow because of the amount of smoke. It's not very well ventilated. They are. It's like an insane room. I don't know what you call it, but psychiatric.
Like a padded cell.
Yeah. But it's all yellow, stinks of smoke. It's absolutely disgusting.
Do you know the scene? This reference might be a bit old for you, but do you know the scene in Cheaper by the Dozen? No, Daddy Daycare, where he's looking after the kids, the and the kid comes out of the toilet and he goes, "I missed." And he goes, "What do you mean? You missed?" He goes, "I missed." And he goes out and you don't see it, but he just goes, "Oh my God," and looks at the ceiling. That's what I feel like every time I walk into that room.
Because the walls are sort of a piss yellow, aren't they?
They're horrible.
But one of my favourite pranks to do to crew members, obviously I'm a magician, is I get them to pick out a card, right? Any card, put it back in the pack, and I say, now your card has reappeared inside that room over there.
Especially and new people that don't know.
New people, they get up, go in there, they go, "Oh, what's going on in there?" And there's no card in there, obviously.
Terrific.
Great prank.
Smoking room, yeah. The smoking rooms. But I remember when I went to Japan, they have these very commonly in Japan, these little rooms for people to smoke in like arcades and casinos and stuff. And they just stank so badly. Like, it's honestly enough to put you off smoking.
It is. I don't want to smoke after being in there.
Especially going in there.
We were talking about crew bar prices very briefly.
Yeah.
I actually want to touch on that because not to absolutely clickbait the shit out of this episode, but Guys, we need more followers on socials.
We do. No one listens to this shit.
No one listens to it, and we want to use these clips to funnel through. But also, we hope that you're getting engaging content too, and basically a really long video filled with short form content.
But it's also lots of interesting facts about cruise ships.
Okay, you ready for this one?
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how cheap drinks are on a cruise ship as a crew member.
Yeah, for crew.
It's so cheap. It's wild. It's this beer right here, which I'm not sure if I should have or not. Pure Blonde, great beer. This was $1.30, which is 70p, 65p, 70p for a beer. You can't go to the supermarket and get a drink, especially in Australia.
You actually can't.
You can't go to the supermarket and get a drink that's cheap, and that's because they sell it to you at cost and tax-free. And it means that you can also get things like, depending on a bartender, a Long Island iced tea for $2.50.
Is it $2.50?
It's $2.50.
I thought it was $4, but that's wild.
$2.50. It's insane. And it means that whenever we have like the crew parties, everyone just gets absolutely
obliterated.
Because it's so cheap.
That's probably why they brought in that new alcohol policy, because everyone was just getting... But before they brought in that new alcohol policy, there was like engineers, like Italian engineers would come to the table with trays of shots of like whiskey, like 20 whiskeys. And at first, when I first got on board, I was like, how can you afford to be buying 20 shots? But it's because they cost $1 each. They cost 50p each.
Which is what, like 20 minutes of these guys is, well, not even, I don't know how much.
I have no idea how much we get paid. But the point is, if you're buying 20 shots and it only costs you £10.
It's the same as one shot in like, well, in Australia, shots are really expensive now.
Yeah.
Like a beer, a pint is what, $20? $15, $20?
Yeah.
Depends where you go.
Yeah.
So $1, you could get around him for 20 people for less.
The same as a pint on land.
That's crazy.
Wild.
Great clip.
Great clip.
Great
but
clip.
It is true. And is it because we also on board, we get a discount in the passenger bars. There's not many crew members that are allowed to drink in, passenger areas.
Yeah.
And we're 5 of them, our cast. And then there's a few other, mainly the entertainment team and the officers.
It's just us.
And officers are as well, but they just don't because they're antisocial and weird.
Well, they're busy as well. They've got stuff to do.
Yeah.
Whereas we don't. I plan on going to Bonded today, which is our craft cocktail
bar.
Sort of lounge, I would even call it. Very good bartender, John currently.
John from Edinburgh, actually.
Yeah, from Edinburgh.
Scottish.
He's not quite a friend of the pod.
Not yet.
We haven't gotten to know him yet.
Cracked that egg yet.
But he could become friend of the pod.
He's a nice guy. He's a great bartender, actually.
Great bartender.
Makes great cocktails.
Great old fashioned. And it costs us $7 per cocktail.
But actually, I think it's quite reasonable in there anyway for passengers. I was looking at it. It's $20 for like a good, like proper cocktail. I'm not talking about like a juice.
So for our English audience, that's £10. And for a cocktail, it would probably cost you £13, £14.
Yeah.
In any bar in a city.
In the UK, yeah.
But like a really well made, like you see, it's one bartender, one very good bartender, and it always has been. And you just.
But like a Thor's Hammer is like $21. And that's
phenomenal
smoked.
Cocktail.
It's like a tequila-based cocktail, and they smoke it in a big carafe with like a smoking gun, which is like a bit of theatre as well. If you went to somewhere like, obviously it's a chain like the Alchemist, that set you back 15 quid, maybe 16.
Yeah.
And you're getting it for 10 or 11. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's good. But then that's probably because they can do it tax-free. And also, the thing is with cruise ships, you've already paid so much money to get on.
To be there.
That actually, when everything's a little bit cheaper,
you spend more.
Yeah, it's true. So we were talking about, there's a cruise line that's opened up a train-themed immersive theatre dining experience. So you're on a pretend train carriage with these LCD screens. And it looks great. It's $75 for a 6-course meal.
Yeah.
A theatrical thing. I'd love to do that.
Obviously, the windows are moving because they're screens. It feels like you're on a train carriage.
Yeah, and also because you're rocking.
Yeah, I think
I think that's just a ship.
I think it does.
You think it rocks?
I think the whole thing's on like little pistons.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
The problem is, I'm now actually really intrigued in cruise ships. But
I find them fascinating.
I don't know if I want to go on as a passenger. But like, if I get booked for that,
I don't know.
Oh
man.
my god!
My TikTok and Instagram is just all cruise content now, and it's interesting as well. I actually got a sponsored ad for a Virgin cruise today. They're doing Black Friday deals, and I was like thinking, wonder who I could convince to come with me.
Oh, mate, I'd love to.
It's 80 quid a night
per person.
Yeah, okay. All inclusive.
Oh, wait, drinks.
You get like $400 on your card for that.
I'd be keen.
Yeah,
that sounds like
Week in the Med or something. Anyway, I love cruise shit. It's great.
You love cruise ships?
Cruise ship shit.
Whoa! Yeah. Okay. Oh, we did something interesting the other day.
Yep.
K-Mart. I think we should touch on K-Mart.
We can touch on it because I don't want to ruin it for the future pods.
No, but we should touch on it, and then I think we should say, no, we'll explain that because then that's a nice thing for people to come back to. So, This will make a good clip, mate. If you're from the UK, there's this company in Australia called K-Mart, and I feel like everyone that moves to Australia or spends time in Australia sees it and they're like, holy shit, how do you make this stuff so cheap?
But also, why don't we have one in the UK?
Why don't we? I guess it's like Asda. It's the nearest thing we have to it.
It's not though, is it?
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
In fact, imagine this. Picture this. You walk into a
Theatre
shop.
of the mind.
Theatre of the mind. You walk into a shop that sells everything.
And by the way, he means everything.
Oh, you want a waffle iron that you can fit in your pocket?
$3.
Yeah, you want, I don't know, bed sheets?
$1.50.
Oh, you want a wardrobe?
I don't know, $25?
It's so cheap. You could furnish your entire flat for
Easily.
$100. The problem is you end up spending actually quite a lot of money there because you just toss everything into your basket.
You've got 100 things.
It's unreal. We actually bought a little spin wheel for the pod, which we'll get to later.
Yeah.
Well, you did. $12.
$12.
That's crazy.
Great.
In the UK,
Something like that.
Bibby bought a wheel like that.
A bit better than that, to be fair.
Okay, yeah, but his one was like 150 quid.
Yeah.
But one like that would still run you about 30, 40 quid.
Yeah, unbelievable. Honestly, like, and you can buy everything. It's like stationery, clothes, food, snacks, decoration, toys, books, kitchenware, like literally
furniture,
bikes.
Yeah, bikes.
There's a printing center, camera equipment.
There's a whole
computer center,
bit
like
downstairs,
sports, like
it's unbelievable.
Literally anything you can imagine, and it's all half the price that you think it's going to be. Like if you were going to guess how much something would be, like actually half the stuff in this cabin is Kmart. Like this sunset lamp, Kmart, it's like $10. This you can't see it, but Galaxy projector that was like $8 or something from K-Mart.
And those on Amazon, it's a Nebula one. That one,
yeah, it's
right?
great.
Those are like $50 on Amazon.
Can be,
I don't understand how it's so cheap.
Got a little Christmas tree, $4.
Yeah, that's insane. The Christmas tree.
$4.
To be fair, you know how they get you the Christmas tree though? You've got to put shit on it, haven't you? So actually, I bought the Christmas trees. It's like what, $4 or $5, but then by the time you get your tinsel, $2 here, $2 there, your LEDs are $4 or $5. You're not spending like 20, but that's still
absolutely unbelievable.
That's a tenner.
I bought this like little fake plant because the cabin's got no windows, so it's a bit of greenery. That was like $3.
Crazy. I don't know how they do it.
£1.50.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but honestly, we don't even need to be sponsored by them because everything's so cheap. I'll just pay for it anyway. Like,
yeah, exactly. It was amazing. We did something pretty coupley though.
Pretty coupley.
So when we were in there, we saw these Lego advent calendars. I was like, we should get Lego advent calendars. That's just cool. I could get a Spider-Man one. You could get a Harry Potter or a Star Wars one.
And they're only like $45,
which isn't
like
a lot.
£22
for a decent. Lego's not cheap, you know.
Lego's not cheap.
And then, like, hang on, why don't we spend what we would spend on these calendars and make each other a calendar? So that's what we're doing.
So we spent probably about an hour going around Kmart, Big W, and buying.
Chemist Warehouse I went to as well.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't get much from there though.
No.
So how are you gonna? What's your vision? Is it to wrap them all up?
I'm
going
to
to
wrap them all individually. That's what that wrapping paper
with numbers, or are you going to deliver one each day?
Oh, I'm going to deliver one each.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty better way to do it.
What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to wrap them up and going to number them, and I'm going to keep a list of what's what, and then I'll work out afterwards. So you might not get day number one on day one. I should probably do the list first.
Why? What's the list got to do? So it's not like
so I can remember what's what. Because if I pick something up and it's wrapped,
right.
Unless it's like
I was going to just write the number on it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like 1, 2, 3.
I've got to remember what's what.
Write a list of what's on it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. And then obviously on the pod every week we'll show you the 7 objects that we got.
Unless we've eaten them.
Oh.
If you've got perishables.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got any perishables.
Well, you still got like 14 things.
Yeah, I know I've got like 6 to get, I think.
I think I'm lacking one thing.
Okay.
And
to tie it all together.
Well, this is the thing though, but I might just get you a Christmas present.
Yeah.
And then that'll be the 25th one. So that's different.
Yeah.
Got a little game for you. It's a game which we play quite a few times on the podcast. I'm going to show you things on Facebook Marketplace, and you have to guess how much you think they would cost.
Oh, my favourite thing to edit in post-production.
Yeah, it's great. So my Facebook Marketplace feed is really cursed because I have a hobby of just going on it all the time. I haven't even cropped these yet, so I'm just going to cover the bit that has a price on it, and then you have to guess how much it costs.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do 5. I've screenshotted quite a few. We'll kick things off strong with a life-size Lego model
of...
it's a Ninjago, Lego Ninjago character.
Nice.
But the actual character, these are like the ones they have in Lego shops, and it's about, that big. And I imagine it's all glued together.
Lego's expensive, man. I'm going to say like...
Sorry, it's 5'10".
Wow. Like that tall.
It's way taller than you.
Yeah, very good. That is... I think if they're wanting to get rid of it, which I'd imagine they are...
It is from Legoland in Denmark.
So they're wanting rid of it. And they didn't pay for the Lego because they are Lego. £800. Oh, okay.
Up
1,200?
5,000.
Oh, get piped.
It's pretty cool though.
It's not that. That's not a good one though. If you're gonna get a big Lego model, that's
like
not
Darth
good.
Vader or something. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's the first one. Number 2, it's this one. This is a vintage horse tricycle. So it's a full-size tricycle.
Is
you
it
can
actually
ride.
vintage?
Well,
Is it antique?
or
is it made like
yes, no, it is vintage. They bought it 40 years ago.
£700?
Wow, you're going to be shocked. 250.
It's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
That's the kind of thing you'd stick on like one of these antiques roadshow and find out it's worth double that.
Yeah, maybe we should
Or
buy
like
it.
£1,000.
Next one. How do you feel about the Beatles?
Love the Beatles.
Well, right here I've got a
doesn't?
yellow submarine.
Made of Lego?
No, this one's unmanned, right? So you can't put someone in it. Sort of a remote control submarine that you send down. I don't know what it's.
What does it do?
I don't really know. I don't understand why you'd want that. But
it works.
yeah, it's a submarine. It works.
Got cameras?
Yeah, it should have, shouldn't it? I don't really know what it's for.
It's hard to tell without knowing what it's for and like how it works. But I'm gonna go with 10 grand.
You're right. It's in the thousands, but it's not quite 10 grand.
7, 8.
3.5.
Yeah, it's tough.
I don't know what it does.
Yeah, if I don't know what it does, then like, because if it's got loads of instrumentation and stuff on it, then it's worth more, isn't it? But
Okay, I'm going to show you 2 parts of this one.
okay,
This is the front of a Boeing 737, sorry,
Okay.
right? And you'll notice they've kind of gutted it. I think with the prospect of making it into a glamping pod
cool.
or something like that. It's still got the full cockpit.
But they're selling the whole thing.
Yeah. But it's only the front of it. It's not got wings or anything. It's like the front section up to the wings of a Boeing 737.
35 grand.
Oh my God. Fucking close. 30 grand. That's good, that.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Just a project that never got finished. I think that's quite cool.
That's quite
I
cool,
love it
yeah.
all. Airbnb. Let's do one more. Similar vein. This is a helicopter flight simulator.
Okay, so it's just like the seats, the kind of the frame.
I think it's
and
the
the
seats,
controls
the screen,
and
the
the screen.
software, controls. It's ready to go. It also has a GoPro attached to it, so you can film people's reactions. Multiple GoPros, actually.
I'm gonna say like 15 or 20 grand. 15 is like 17 grand then.
27.5.
Okay, yeah.
There you go. That's
Cool.
guessing Facebook Marketplace finds.
It's weird that these things are on Facebook Marketplace, isn't it? Like
You can
I
get
guess it
anything on
makes
there.
sense.
You
but
can get absolutely anything.
imagine rocking up to someone's house, like, oh, cash only, mate. 27.5 grand.
I love Facebook Marketplace. You can literally get anything on it. You can buy a plane on there. You can buy a helicopter. You can buy a real helicopter on there. And you can get like a
I was
tank.
about to say something. This is going to trigger you, but
Yeah.
you rock up to their house, you pay for it with cash, and then you stick it on your trailer and take it home with you.
Oh, my God. I saw the coolest thing in the world the other day.
It's not cool.
I've never seen something as cool as this in my
I've never
life.
seen someone react to something so uncool like this before.
We're in Hobart, Tasmania. Picture this. Theatre of the mind.
Theatre of the mind.
We're in Hobart, Tasmania. We're waiting on a coffee at a little nice hole in the wall coffee
Great
place.
little place.
And we see a pickup truck drive past with a tow hitch and a trailer. And attached on the trailer is a commercial fridge.
Like ratchet strapped to the trailer.
Upright. Don't leave that out.
Upright is
Upright.
the thing. If it wasn't upright, it'd be shit. but
Upright refrigerator, empty. We're going to transport it with the goods inside it.
Luke loses his tiny little mind.
And you know
We're
what?
with like 3 or 4 other people, and Luke goes, "Oh my God." And everyone's like, "What?" It's like, there's a fridge on a trailer on a tow truck. What's going on?
You'll never see that again in your life.
Yeah, probably
and
not,
you know what
mate.
annoys me? At the show, that evening, we had a show that day. That evening, I sat down, sat to myself, and I said to Ree, friend of pod, the hula hooper, I said, Ree, you would not believe what I saw today. A pickup truck towing a trailer with a commercial refrigerator. And she said, I feel like that's not uncommon. You'll never see that again in your life. That's the most uncommon thing in the world. When do you things
I'm
like
not
that?
saying-
You never
like-
see them move. They just exist.
I agree that it's uncommon, but not everything that's uncommon is worth getting excited about.
It's
If
so
you got-
cool.
If you got really excited about everything that was slightly uncommon, you wouldn't have any time in the day.
Okay, so let's say you saw a giraffe
Yeah.
just walking down the street. Would you get excited about that?
Yeah, but that's a giraffe.
This is a fridge on a trailer.
But the chances of a giraffe walking down the street in
That's
Hobart,
what I'm saying. You get my point. The chances of us catching a glimpse of that are so slim.
Oh, it's so annoying because your logic is really sound. Like, this actually kind of makes sense, but I can't.
Anyways,
I'm so annoyed.
it was honestly, couldn't believe my eyes. I saw that in a while. Like, how lucky are we to have been there in that moment? Getting our coffee, and we see a fridge on a trailer.
They say everyone always remembers where they were on 9/11.
Exactly.
I'll always remember the day we saw a fridge
Don't
on
remember
a
what the
trailer.
coffee place was called, but
That was pretty cool.
yeah, I'll remember that for a very long time.
Pretty cool.
That's actually all my points for this podcast.
Right,
So
well,
if you've got, we should do question time maybe.
Well, I thought one more ship thing,
Okay.
because we talked last week about haircuts on the M1,
We did.
and so if you didn't listen, for those of you that don't know,
I'm gonna get one tonight.
an M1 cut.
Yeah, M1 cut.
Pass.
Mm.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, on the ship, on the cruise ship, there's lots of like underground businesses, and I thought we'd talk about another one, which actually was a question I had, but
Noodle Man.
the Noodle Man.
Ah.
So, and apparently this is quite common on a lot of ships, but we definitely have one on our ship. It's called the Noodle Man, and no one knows who the Noodle Man is. The Noodle Man is a member of the crew who makes noodles, apparently in their cabin, in a almost as close to commercial kitchen setup as you can make with the tools at your disposal. Bearing in mind, on a ship, you're not allowed to have hot plates or anything like that. They've like apparently snuck that equipment in, rigged their own ventilation in through the air conditioning, and you have to contact the Noodle Man through a proxy.
Yes, you call their friend or someone.
Yeah, so somebody knows who the Noodle Man is, or a couple people do, and you have to ask them for the noodles.
Yeah.
And that protects the Noodle Man's identity so they don't get kicked off or in trouble. You order the noodles by phoning the friend, and then you leave
like $5
outside
your
which
door.
Like £2.50 outside your cabin door, and then someone will come and collect the money and leave effectively instant noodles with like a boiled egg.
So what I've heard is it's a Ziploc bag.
I heard it was sick bags. I heard they nicked the
maybe it
sick
is
bags.
sick bag, but it's like some
clean sick bags.
flimsy bag with your noodles and
Instant
then
noodles.
either a fried or a boiled egg. I think you have the option.
And they hang it on your door handle apparently and take the money. So you never see anyone. You just put the money outside, and then at some point in the next 30 minutes,
You'll smell it.
noodles will arrive hanging on your cabin door.
It's crazy.
It's unreal.
So there was a Noodle Man that we knew.
We did know one of the Noodle Men,
But his
he had a
rules were
small
very...
operation.
He had a
though.
small operation, and his rule was that you don't have to pay for the noodles, but in return you have to sit with him and have a conversation as you eat them.
You have to eat them at his cabin.
So the word doesn't get out.
Yeah.
But one of our
It's
friends in the
pretty
pod,
funny.
Hannah, was a big fan of Noodle Man and was there all the time
Yeah.
because she couldn't be bothered to cook her own noodles.
The annoying thing is I've never tried to engage Noodle Man because Luke and I are both vegans, so it's not much point because it's always like the chicken noodles and there's always an egg in it. But
There's
that
no
Noodle
point
Man,
getting it,
hilariously as well, we used to do the egg drop
we did.
on the ship. The egg drop is an activity. You get an egg in the morning. Passengers, for the passengers, obviously, not really for us. You get an egg in the morning.
I do it every time.
Luke does it every time. And then you've got to come back in a couple hours, and in the atrium, they drop it from like a couple balconies above, and whoever's egg survives. And the Noodle Man that we knew at the end of it used to like scavenge all the unbroken eggs that are like in pillows and parachutes and all sorts. He'd be like, and then there'd be a bowl of eggs that never got claimed at the start of it, and he'd always be like, are you guys gonna use those eggs? And they'd be like, no. And he's like, can I have them? And he'd just scurry away with a bowl of eggs.
Sort of hold his t-shirt up and just
Yeah.
put the eggs in it and run off.
Scurry away with all the eggs.
Oh, we like that Noodle Man. I miss
do
that
like
Noodle
that
Man,
Noodle
actually.
Man. Yeah, we're not gonna name them just so they don't get in any.
He wouldn't get in any trouble.
Noodle-based
He's actually
trouble.
not broken any rules there.
Well,
just by
no.
making noodles in his cabin for other people.
Yeah.
That's fine. Although I think he did used to make eggs as well.
Yeah, the Noodle Man.
The Noodle Man strikes again.
What a great bit of like ship lore.
I actually don't know anyone that's ever ordered, other than Hayley, friend of the pod. I think she ordered from
the
Noodle
Noodle
Man.
Man.
Yeah, from the Noodle Man that we.
Because I think it is quite hard work to find them, to get to,
Yeah.
once you've got the chain of contact, it's fine, but it's actually quite difficult to get that unless you know them.
Yeah. Oh, here's a fun little thing because this little red panda down here has reminded me of it. Two friends of pods, Kenzie and Bethany, bought us some cuddly toys.
It is. Yeah,
Red
it is,
panda, and I got an otter.
Yeah.
We went to the zoo.
Ralph the Red Panda.
Yeah, my one's called Otis the
Oh.
Otter.
Here we go. So this is a question. Should we do a little intro to this?
Yeah, we probably should do.
Yeah. This is a part of the show called Cruise Ship Q&A, where we've asked people to ask us questions about life on board the ship. Myself and Luke, we live and work on a cruise ship.
We do.
And people get curious, so we have some questions. So friend of the pod, Bethany has asked, what's the weirdest thing that you've brought onto the ship?
The weirdest thing we brought onto ship?
Yeah. I mean, this could be interpreted two ways. It could be brought on with you when you arrived or bought since you arrived.
There's a lot of weird magic stuff that we both have taken.
Yeah.
On, but that's not really...
Can be considered weird.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like, I like buying myself a little thing to keep me occupied every now and then.
Like little funny toys and games and things
I've got
like
loads of really weird fidget toys and stuff.
Yeah. I think what other people might find quite strange, or maybe not strange, but interesting, is everyone has their own little collection of like condiments.
Yeah.
So like I've got like a hot sauce, salt and pepper, like a little spice thing. Like everyone sort of has their own little collections of condiments that they bring. Because we eat the same food a lot.
Yeah.
And the food's actually not bad necessarily, but it gets a bit...
masala day today.
Yeah, it's great. Unreal.
Oh, I had a tin of chickpeas.
Yeah. It gets quite samey, so it's good to add something to it to make it a little bit different. So that's quite strange, I guess. The weirdest thing...
Oh, Indonesian pre-workout.
Oh, Joss.
Extra Joss is one of the best things. A big fan of it. Extra Joss is Indonesian pre-workout, and when you mix it with vodka, it's just fantastic. I don't know how else to describe it. Big thing in like Bali, and we had a port day in where? Lombok? No,
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Somewhere in Indonesia. And my mission for the day was to buy as much Joss as I could. So I bought 6 or 7 boxes, cleared out every little supermarket of all the Extra Joss, and I've still got like 6 or 7 left. That's for a special occasion, probably for New Year's.
Joss is wild.
It's my favourite thing in the world.
It's like
it has
most caffeinated. It makes the vodka taste really nice, like kind of orange. It kind of tastes like the vitamin C tablets.
It's like Barocca, yeah.
It's like
Barocca.
Boost,
Yeah.
But instead of just making you have more vitamin C, it gives you like a massive caffeine rush.
Yeah, it gets you really wired.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it. It's great like for pre-drinks and stuff. Highly recommend it.
So I have a question here from also a friend of the pod, Kiara.
Friend of the pod?
Kiara asks, what is your ideal contract length in your opinion?
I think the ones that we do are actually really good, like 2.5 months to 3 months. It's good enough to make it seem like it's a big chunk of your time.
You can get settled and you can make friends and have fun.
I think anything less than 2 months, I'd be like, wow.
It's not worth it's not worth getting settled. It's not worth integrating yourself into friendship groups.
If I was coming back onto this,
Yeah.
I would do like 6 weeks here and there because I know the ship.
Yeah.
But going onto a new ship, like I know Kiara's does on Virgin, it's just like 5-week contracts. I think that's long enough to get settled and meet people.
Yeah, from what I hear, it's difficult to really get settled.
I think 3 months is a sweet spot. 2.5 to 3 months, I think is pretty good. Any longer than that, it feels long.
My last contract, I did a full 6 months, and it was great, but it was long.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I was like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
And most crews should be able to do 6 months, if not
5
8 months.
5.5 to 8 months is standard. And you always get extended as well. So the thing is, you think you're going on for 2 months and you end up getting extended all the time. But I think that the actual contract lengths that we do, so I think 2.5 months is like
nice.
Just under 3 months. That's what you want.
Yeah. Good question. Another question here. What's the most outrageous thing you've heard anyone doing on board, guest or crew?
Well, a couple of cruises ago, we had someone that was very drunk go up to leader deck, snap
a wet floor sign over his head, like hulk it apart.
Yeah, and start like smacking people with it. I think it's kind of weird. There was someone that had COVID on the ship, and he had it really bad to the point that he went a bit deluded over it, and he was told to stay inside his cabin, and he just kept on leaving and walking around the ship pretty much naked. And that was when I was on, and you just occasionally see this guy walk down the hallway just in his boxers.
Yeah, we talked last week as well about the brig and people getting locked up in the jail. Usually that's just for like violence, really. It's someone getting drunk and starting a fight or something like that.
There were 2 kids when I was on the ship having a scrap, 2 like teenagers, and one of them attempted to throw the other one overboard. And so that was like, you do realise that's like borderline attempted murder.
Yeah.
So he was, but it was kind of a whole like, why they're just kids. He didn't really understand how severe it was. I think it was more of like I just wanted him to think I was. Yeah. But that's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I
think, could clip this. I think what a lot of people don't realise is that if you go overboard on a cruise ship, that's pretty much it.
You're not going for a swim. You can't stop here and there and go for a little paddle. Like you're done.
You're in the middle of the ocean. You're sometimes in like, at the moment we're in 2 meter swells, which is not as huge, but it doesn't feel like much. The ship's not moving right now. So when the ship is moving, that's like 5-6 meter swells. Yeah. And the ship's moving at 10 knots. So by the time someone spots you and by the time the ship takes action, you're a
A
mile
mile
away.
away.
And then they've got to launch a boat, which takes 5-10 minutes minimum. By the time they've got to get to the boat, they've got to launch it, they've got to go find you. Like, if you go overboard, you're pretty much done for.
Yeah, and to be honest, I often think, like, how are people going overboard? And you look at the passengers, some of them are really leaning over, looking down at dolphins. People are watching their kids. It can happen really easily, and it's a really sad thing when it does happen.
But yeah, and it doesn't happen all that often. Like, obviously, we've never had a man overboard since I've been on board here.
Yeah, and me neither.
But yeah, terrifying.
Especially at night. If it happens at night, you can't see.
You can't see them. Yeah,
it's done. Like, and that's when
it's hard enough
tends to
during the
happen.
day when
People are
the
drunk.
sun's out
Yeah.
and the sea's moving and you're a tiny little object in the sea. But yeah,
It's no joke. Don't mess around. Don't joke about. Well, you can joke about it all you want, but don't mess around and don't try and throw any mates over. It's silly.
Definitely don't do that.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it for questions. We only to be fair, we only have 75 followers on Instagram, so only so many people.
Go follow us on Instagram at shipmatespod.
Yeah.
Ship.mates.pod. Or is it just ship? No, it's just shipmatespod.
Shipmatespod on one thing.
And send us any questions you have. You can DM them to us.
I think that's it.
Well. Welcome back. We've got a lovely little spinny wheel that Cameron bought from K-Mart.
$12.
Yeah, $12.
Unreal.
So what I've done is I've written our names alternating on this, and it's going to choose either one of us at random. And then we have a forfeit prepared, which is we have a condom here, and what's going to happen is whoever loses is going to have to snort the condom up their nose and take it out your mouth.
So it should be noted, this is like not the most fair forfeit, because Luke's done this a bunch of times. I've never done it before. I back myself though.
I think I've done it about 50 times, but I've never done that thing where you put a nail in your face, and you've done that.
Yeah, I think they're different.
Okay, well,
I reckon I can do it.
Do you want to spin it?
You spin it, because I'll get a little close up for the video.
Where she stops, nobody knows. Oh, it's me.
Oh, good.
Oh, we can spin it again.
No,
all right.
You did it, mate.
So this is it landed on me, landed on Luke. So forfeit is, I'm glad these aren't like minty condoms, is I have to snort a condom up my nose and take it out my mouth.
I think realistically I'm probably end up trying anyway, haven't I?
Yeah, probably. Behind closed doors. Ready for action.
Ready for action.
Oh, it's landed on
no.
Cam! Are you doing it at the same time?
Yeah,
I can sort of give you a little tutorial. Did you know if you roll back a condom all the way, it shows a barcode at the end? Yeah.
It's funny that. No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
I've never rolled it back to the end then, have you?
I've definitely heard that before.
I think it's
Condoms are gross, aren't they? Just
Condoms are really gross.
So gross.
Yeah, no, I hate condoms.
Ready for
Not a
action.
fan. Ready for action. Okay, so you got it all.
Hold on, can you give me a little tutorial here then?
So here's the idea, right?
Your fingers are all loose.
Yum, yum, yum. So you roll up the tip of it.
Okay, like a bit of thread.
Yeah. And then you want to just close my nostril, snort it up, and then you'll feel it, and then you grab it.
What, if I snort that up, I'll just feel it at the back of my throat?
Yeah, if you
It's as
get it
simple
up,
as that.
yeah, and then you pull it out.
You can't snort it that far, surely.
You ready?
Okay.
Right.
Oh, I hate it so much. Okay, yeah, okay. I thought it was gonna be one snort, not.
Okay.
Oh no, I don't know if I can do this, man.
Or was there?
Oh, that is absolutely fucking. That's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Ta-da!
I don't think I don't know why.
You said you were gonna do it. What are you doing?
Oh,
Let me put mine back in the pack like a good boy.
no, I actually. Do you know? Have you ever done like a bungee jump or anything before like that?
No.
You know the feeling you get before you're about to do the really the big scary thing.
Comparing this to a bungee jump.
Honestly, the bungee jump you just jump. This is like I've got to do it myself. Right, okay. I need more drunk for this. It just stuck up my nose.
Just give it one big. You get it. You get it. Need one big inhale.
It's just stuck up my fucking nose.
Can you feel it? Like, is
Yeah,
it gone up?
kinda.
Has it gone up to the top bit yet? Give it a big.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I'm actually I can't. I'm really sick. No.
No, you're gonna put it out.
Yeah. No, okay, hold on. No, I can't. Oh. Oh my god.
Good attempt. I'll give you that. Well done.
I'll tell you what. I'll get that at some point in a future pod.
You're gonna show me.
I'll do that.
Great.
That's a solid start for today. That was one of the worst experiences of my life so far.
Yeah. So if you want to send us some videos of you trying this at home, no, don't try it at home.
Oh.
I've done that like 100 times. It's actually Kane and Abel told me about that.
Yeah.
Friends of the pod.
I thought I was going to be sick.
Yeah, there is a moment where you feel it tickle you.
And if I was going to be sick, I'd rather do it without a condom hanging out my nose. It's a bit fucking demeaning, isn't it?
Yeah, very good.
Anyway, I think that's us.
That's us. That's the end of the pod. Thank you so much for listening to the Shipmates pod. If you would like to, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It means a lot. And follow us on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram at ShipmatesPod. And on TikTok it's ship.mates.pod because Cameron doesn't understand usernames. If you're listening to us on Spotify, please follow it.
Yeah. And also, if you do like our stuff, because a few people have commented and messaged me being like they really enjoy our videos and and some of them listen to the full thing, share it with somebody. Yeah. Share it with someone that you know that you like, that you think will like it. Because we would quite like people to watch and listen to these things.
Yeah, as much as a pastime for us, we also would quite like this to get some hits. And the more people watch it, the better we can make them because we get more questions in and stuff like that.
And we actually put a lot of effort into it as well.
We do put loads of effort into it.
Yeah, we generally do.
And I hope you enjoy it as much as we do. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.